How's it going, everybody? I am DeanoGTO, and today we're going to be talking about the 40 TP, the Tier 6 Polish medium tank. Now, I just got that vehicle yesterday, and I got the shock of my life. That tank, like, going from the Tier 5 to the Tier 6, it's such an insane shift in the playstyle that it's honestly hard to wrap your head around. Like, you go from the Tier 5, which has like nearly a 19 horsepower per ton ratio. It's a really quick, maneuverable Tier 5 medium tank with a solid gun. Then you get to Tier 6. And, well, notice I emphasized quick and maneuverable. Let's just say when you're the slowest tank and you're being compared to the LOZA, the SE4 Experimental, the Cheeto, and the M4 Jumbo, well, that's a pretty horrendous sign. And you know what? Let's just throw in one more competitor here just to really drive home just how insanely slow this tank is. And how do I do this? There it is there. Where's specific power? Yeah. The KV2 has a better power to weight ratio than that. That's literally a thing now. There's a medium tank which is slower than a KV2. Now you might be wondering why I'm not really focusing on top speed. The reason is because it can't reach it. It can't get anywhere near it. Honestly, driving around the map, the 40 TP sits between, I think, 24 and 30 kilometers an hour. This is a medium, remember? A medium. I really want to know Wargaming's definition of a medium, because this seems like the exact opposite to what a medium should be. And it's especially hilarious because the Tier 7 heavy tank has a 17 horsepower per ton ratio, meanwhile the Tier 6 medium tank has an 11 horsepower per ton ratio. What? I mean, what? Like, that just sounds ridiculous. And here's the thing. The traverse speed here looks like it's good on paper. But if I'm honest with you, it feels like it traverses like a KV2. I'm going to jump into a battle here just so I can show you what I mean. It really does not like to turn. Like, I honestly saw the 40-degree traverse speed once I got like most of the parts fully upgraded. Like, the only thing I don't have at the moment is the engine, and I'm honestly considering just skipping it, because it just doesn't feel worth it to go for that engine, because the machine, like, it's slow as hell the way it is, and I don't think the 50 horsepower from the engine is going to help that much. I really don't think it is. It may increase like you're on the flat speed by like 2 or 5 kilometers an hour. I don't really think it's worth spending 10,000 XP on, because you want to get through this tank as quickly as you possibly can, because the tank is crap. Like, the most bizarre thing about this tank is whenever you were watching the trailer for 1.1 coming out, I'm pretty sure when they got to the Tier 6, they said, like, this is a well-armored medium which kind of prepares you for playing as a heavy. And they kind of mention the speed's a bit crap, but they don't really go in depth as to how crap it is. I mean, look at this acceleration. That's genuinely like a T28 concept was actually keeping up with me as a Tier 6 medium there. That was a thing that was happening there for a second. Until he stopped. This honestly feels like a Tier 6 Super Pershing without the armor and without the gun. That's honestly like the closest analog I can think of for this tank. And it's pretty tragic because I actually usually enjoy Tier 6 the most in most grinds. Well, sometimes Tier 7, but most of the time Tier 6 is actually one of my favorites to actually play. But as soon as I drove this thing for the first time, I was just like, oh no. That was literally the only response that I could have, if I'm honest with you, because it's just such a shock whenever you get this thing and you end up with this Just absolutely just crap tank. And he's stuck, so I don't think he has the view range to actually see me. But even the reload on the gun is not that good. I was going to try and go for the shot in the Oni there, but I have nowhere near enough penetration to go through that. The only thing I'm really doing here is like, I'm going to try and track these guys and keep them in place. Is he looking at me? No, he's not. See, if he tries to turn, I'm going to try and like lead the shot to like track him. There it is. This is like the only way that I can think of to potentially get damage without firing premium rounds, because I don't like firing premium rounds. And balls. That shot did not go where I wanted it to go. And also, apparently the accuracy is just absolute garbage too. You can see why this tank is going to be a bit of a ball ache, can't you? Because one of the things that was nice about the tier 6 was that it was quick. Or no, not tier 6, sorry, tier 5. Was that it was fast while having a fast firing gun. So when you were using like a long range sort of playstyle like this, you still had a pretty decent gun to use. Like you could fire off a bunch of shots and you could basically just keep trying your luck and just keep firing at a target, and eventually you're going to do some damage and you're going to hit them. With this thing, you don't get that sense. You really don't get that sort of like confidence in the tank where you think like, oh yeah, like I just fire a few more shots and eventually it'll do some damage. You don't get any sort of inkling of that. See, if this guy exposes the entirety of the side of his turret, will I get any sort of... Hey, I got managed to penetrate an Oni. Only because he angled himself at like 45 degrees. He's aiming at me, I'm not sure if he can see me. He cannot see me. So this is one nice thing about like having binoculars. You can play the view range game a decent amount. He's aiming roughly near where I am. Jesus Christ, gone. Jeez, I just shot an ally because my gun can't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside. And wow, that was perfect timing there. I tracked him literally as soon as everybody aimed at him. And I was actually pretty confident I was going to get the kill shot on that guy, but denied. Got the kill shot on that time. We do know there's a Lorraine 40T there. But, like, by the way, like, this sort of gameplay you're seeing right now, this is literally the only way that I've found to actually get some XP out of this tank. Jesus Christ. Look at me trying to turn this thing. Just look at this. It honestly just feels stupid, if I'm honest with you. It just feels like this tank has just been deliberately badly balanced, or it feels like there was a mistake with the stats. Like, it doesn't feel like this thing makes sense. I'm about to die here. Because, well, it's a Lorraine 40T, and, well, he is not a loader, he's 2 tiers higher than me, so it can't make sense. So, yeah, that was a game you saw there. I only got some spotting damage. It was 1900 spotting damage, to be fair. It was a decent amount of spotting damage, but that was literally the only thing I could really do in that game if I didn't want to spam premium, which I didn't want to do because I don't like firing premium rounds if I can avoid it. I don't think I got any damage off blind shots in that game either. But you can clearly see like why I'm so just confused by this machine. You can clearly see it, like that speed just doesn't make sense on medium. The fact that this speed is on medium tank just is baffling. And that was a second class mastery for 850 XP. Jesus Christ. If 850 XP is enough for a second class mastery, That just tells you how badly people are doing in this tank. And also, if you haven't noticed, I'm using boosters on this machine because honestly, I feel like I would drive myself insane if I was to grind this tank out normally. Like, I really don't think it's a good idea to try and grind this thing out normally. If you can use free XP, or if you can use, what is it, or if you can use boosters, this is the tank to do it on. Because if you look at the tier 7, actually wait, hang on, let's just load up tier 7 for you. This is the mobility I was expecting at tier 6, Wheezy. Watch this. Look at that. That's the sort of mobility I was expecting at tier 6. Like 16.84 horsepower per ton ratio, maybe like a 40 km/h top speed. That's kind of what I was expecting at top. That was kind of what I was expecting at tier 6, but well, apparently the tier 7 heavy tank can have better mobility than the tier 6 medium, which makes all of the sense. Yeah, this tank is, well, the tier 6 is definitely the stinker of this line. 100%. I don't think there's any disputing that. Whenever tanks like the DeanoGTO are faster than you, and whenever KV2 has better power weight ratio than you, and by the way, this thing is fully equipped as well, so that's actually like lowering its power weight ratio a bit, you know you've got just a terrible tank. Jesus. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think of this video in the comment section below. Sorry if it was a bit rambly, but I just kind of had to show you what you're going to be in for when you get this thing. It's not good, and it's going to be, it's not going to be fun to go through this thing. I'm just going to advise you that right now. It's not going to be fun. Unless you get incredibly lucky with most of your games. But, yeah. Let me know what you guys think of this video in the comment section below. Have you driven this thing yet, and did you have any success in it? And is it worth getting the tap engine, yes or no? That's a question I would really like to know the answer to because, well, you're about a quarter of the way to the tier 7 by the time you hit about 10,000 XP. So, honestly, having just 30,000 XP left to grind to the tier 7 sounds a lot more appealing than having to go through another 40,000 after unlocking the engine. That's the way I'm working in my head at least. But yeah, I'm going to jump into another battle here, but I'm going to end the video here. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.